The Daily Purge. And there you are, Wednesday night. What is it, the 18th of August? It's incredible, isn't it? 18th of August already. And guess what? Episode 694. Episode 694. That's almost scary, isn't it? It's almost like an obsession, isn't it? It's like less than being consistent is one thing, but man, that's crazy, right? But I get a lot out of it. You guys hopefully get something out of it, or you wouldn't be showing up. So I think that's a cool thing. But today I wanted to say, I've had some conversations today, and I even had a live with Lauren Resnick on LinkedIn. On Instagram, we do a live about powerful women every Wednesday at 12 noon Eastern Standard Time on Instagram. You can follow me and you'll see it, or you follow Princess with a Backpack. That's her Instagram handle, and you'll see us every Wednesday talking about some really cool stuff. And we talked about breaking through, and we talked about getting stuck, and we talked about burnout, and moving forward, and how do you move forward, and what if you're burned out? How do you know you're burned out? How do you stop from being burned out? How do you set boundaries, and why should you set boundaries, and all this kind of stuff. And it sort of got, in a way, a little bit monotonous, because in the end I was like, it all boils down to that one thing. So I could say, okay, of course, when you're burned out, it's because you're not setting boundaries. And when you're burned out, because you're saying, hey, my boss wants me to work that much. Well, he only expects you to work that much because you allow it to happen, right? Of course, put one foot. Hey, what's up? Good day, Daniel. Hey, Shirley. All right. Good to see you, Jared. And, and so if you allow people to take advantage of you, you will. And you're probably saying, Stephen, I work at the post office. I have no choice. I have to do this or I have to do that. Well, there's boundaries you can set. I mean, I told a story about how, I used to work 5 days a week. And then one day I said, I don't want to work 5 days a week anymore. I can get the job done at 4. 5 days a week. I don't want to get the job done at 4. So I walked in and said, look, I'm going to have the same, if not better results. I'm going to work 4 days a week. And I'm going to take Fridays off so I can recuperate and actually become powerful. And if you don't like what happens after 3 months, we'll go back to 5 days a week. And they said, okay. And from that point on, for over 10 years, I only ever worked 4 days a week. And that was for a contract, right? And even I had employees that said, hey, you can do that. Can I do that too? And I said, well, look, if you get the same results or better and you're more proactive in the company, then yeah, why not? So I literally had issues. Everybody wanted to take 3 days off a week. And I did as many as I could. Some people took Mondays off. Some people take Fridays off. Hey, Claudia. Claudia's, hey, Olga. And we had the point where hardly anyone was working, full time, and we were crushing it. Why? Because because they had the freedom to be themselves, and they had boundaries, and they felt empowered to put to deploy their power in the times that they were given and that they decided that they would be there, and not when they had to be there. And that's when something turns from fun or joy or excitement to a job or work, is when you don't want to be there and you don't like what you're doing, right? When you can achieve efficiency, that will work. Well, Jared, always the negativity, brother. When you can achieve efficiency, you can achieve efficiency. You can always achieve efficiency, and I promise you that. And if you don't know how, you got to ask somebody how to do it. You can automate. There's so many different ways, so many different ways. You can always shorten your work time. You can always delegate the task, but not the responsibility. You can always put structures and procedures in place that have different deadlines and different perimeters to make sure that you get stuff done earlier instead of later. I've worked, in 10 countries in over 10 industries. And there wasn't a company that I went into that I didn't have people having more free time. It just didn't happen. I mean, people work 8 hours a day, but don't produce. Oh, that's true. That's true. Most people don't. They say 80% of your staff will do, 20% of your staff will do 80% of the work. And that's pretty much it. It's usually less. It's like 10% of your staff will do 80% of the revenue and the work. And I get that, that's because most people are motivated because leadership, they're not focused on the right thing. They're not focused on the culture. They're focused on the structure or the procedures, right? Or getting the people that they know or like into the position so they could share the power. That's all leading to a shitty company culture. And like I always say, culture follows action. And however the leaders are acting, that's how the employees will act. And if you look at a shitty company, then you know exactly what's going on, and you don't even have to meet the leader. Right? You know exactly what's going on. It doesn't mean they're bad. It means they don't know. They've never experienced it. They've never learned it, right? Culture should address this ever. Jared, culture is the only thing that matters. Everything else comes after culture. Unfortunately, most companies talk about culture, but they don't have a culture. What they have is a hierarchy. And you dance in line in the hierarchy, or you're not in the culture. Culture, I actually got my MBA in management of change. Culture versus structures. right? And what the difference is. And the curve for culture is much longer and flatter than the curve for structure. You can change structure in a day, and culture takes months, sometimes years, to change in the case of larger companies. And so, like, I studied this, and I did that. So, hey, Jania, and I studied that a lot. I did my MBA project on that back in 2005. And so, not only did I study it, but I actually applied it over and over and over and over and over again. Probably, I would say, just with the one company, at least 40 locations. And then another couple companies, 10, 20 locations. So maybe 100 times. I've went in, changed the structures, and started honing the culture. And the culture I honed, just like we explained it in Unleash Your Humble Alpha. Hello, Anna. Just like I explained in Unleash Your Humble Alpha, it's, I was focused on graduating back in 2005. Nice. I was 38, brother. And so when you look at when you're trucking through life, right? Hey, Daniel, cool. You're trucking through life and you feel overloaded, and you want to reduce the time that you're working and keep the same results, then you got to figure out a way to communicate that to your boss or your contractor or whatever. And you do that without defending yourself, number one, and number two, without justifying. Well, I've been working here for 10 years, and that's the quickest way to get a no, right? The quickest way to get a no. What you want to do is find out what the issues are, what the challenges are, what needs to get better, what are the main things that they're thinking about that's a problem. Find a solution for those, craft a plan that you're going to implement in the time that you are there, on top of what you're already doing, in a day less, mind you, right? And then go present it and say, look, I have a proposal for you, and it's something that's going to benefit the company greatly. It'll benefit you. It'll benefit, the other staff members. And I think you're going to like it. Would you have a moment to talk? Yeah, we talk. Okay, this is what I see. These are the issues that you say that your company has. These are my ideas. Here's 3 different ideas that I would say that we could change. I could start doing this, and that, or I could do this, or I could do that, or I could assist this person, or I could support that person, or I would take an hour a day to do this, or whatever it is that you do. And then, and for that, I would suggest that I work 4 days a week. And people keep writing me. I work 4 days a week, and that will give me the power that I need to actually implement this, be successful, and create even more impact than I have already at 5 days a week. What do you say? And they're going to be baffled, of course, right? They're going to be baffled. But if you're certain of your ability and your ability to deploy, and you're certain of your results and your impact, well, then you're pretty good to go. They're going to be like, okay, this person means it. Like, they're not messing around. And don't defend yourself, and don't justify yourself. Well, I've been working here long. Well, I have kids. Well, I have. No one gives a shit. No one cares. What are they getting out of it? Why should they let you do it? What are they getting out of it? That's all that matters to them. And I hate to say that, but that's truly what it is in the end. Even if they do like you and they do want to help you, they're going to look at a good business person and be like, well, is this going to hurt me, or is it going to help me? Right? So if you can show that it's going to help, then hey, there you go. So all of this, what I'm talking about, comes down to one thing: certainty in yourself. Certainty in yourself. Who are you? Like, really, who are you? As an identity, who are you? If you don't know who you are, how are you going to be certain in who you are? You can be certain in a title, but that's not who you are. That's what you do, right? These are the things that I preach every single day, in every single podcast, in every single interview, in every single client discussion, every single day. Why? Because for me, it's the number one issue we have in this world. Right now, everyone's being told to fit into a certain identity, whatever it is, right? You have every identity out there possible, and you're supposed to fit into one because of how you look, because of where you come from, because of where you were born, the color of your skin, your religion, whatever it is. You're supposed to fit into an identity. And that's just not powerful. That's taking your power away. You want to be respected? You want to have an impact in the world? You want to make a change in your world, starting in your world and moving out to the out world with radiant value? Then you got to know who you are, and you got to own that shit. And it comes down to you. It doesn't come down to you projecting yourself through a title, through a position, through a movement. I mean, look back 2 or 3 years. Look at all the movements that shot up and disappeared, shot up and disappeared, shot up and disappeared, shot up and disappeared, shot up and disappeared. How many movements were there? And why was that? Because everyone jumped on the bandwagon to try to get that notoriety. And a lot of people use that to get internet famous, I guess you could say. And then 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month, two later, no one even remembers who they were. And what does that tell you? It tells you that none of it was authentic. None of it came from a place of love. None of it came from a place of authenticity. None of it, right? None of it. So if you want to operate under your rules and your guidelines with your boundaries, then you got to know who you are and you got to own that shit. And I mean own it. And be ruthless with decision making. If someone's not willing to respect your boundaries, that's it. You know, we have friends that take calls at 4 o'clock in the morning because they're in a different time zone. I'm like, what are you, nuts? You're setting precedence, man. They can call you any time of the day. And when I can call someone any time of the day, I know they need me, so I'm going to call them. Like I know they need my money as a client, so I'm going to call them. Right? It's just like, oh, man, that person must be desperate. Well, I'm going to use the shit out of them then. Not because I don't respect them. It's because they didn't set boundaries, so I'm just going to call them when I need them. See what I'm saying? And so these are all things that you got to look at when you're out there and you're saying, I'm burned out, or I'm running out of space, or I feel like I'm bored, or what is it? What is it? Who are you? And once you figure out who you are, you're going to see your purpose is sort of crystallizing in front of you. Read the book, Unleash Your Humble Alpha. Literally, there's action steps in there. It's like a no-brainer. You just follow the action steps, answer the questions, do the work, and you're going to come up with who you are. Then you're going to come up with your purpose. And then you're going to go, holy shit, man, what have I been doing my whole life? I have people tell me they'll never work with me because of how I talk. No worries, good luck. Yeah, but Jared, that's not what I'm talking about. Like, accept me as I am or screw off. I'm not talking about that, right? That's a different kind of attitude. What I'm saying is you don't project, right? You don't project things out. You radiate. If I project my ego, if I project my personality, that's abrasive, man. That's hitting somebody. I'm projecting it. I'm shooting it at them. But if I'm radiating confidence and certainty, then it doesn't matter what people think of me. They're not ever going to say they don't want to talk to me because of how I talk, because they're going to see that talk that I'm saying is coming from a place of authenticity, truth, honesty, integrity, transparency. And so it's not about what you say, it's what energy is behind what you say. No, you know what I'm saying? Exactly, Jared. From the inside out, I freaking love it. Exactly. My biggest problem making decisions, I think, about is it too long. Well, surely everyone does that. It seems like everyone does that. But then let me give you a massive tip. Surely, I like you. You're cool. You've been loyal. Always showing up. I love it. So check this out. Whenever you have an idea to make a decision, think back to the feeling you had when that first popped into your head. And that feeling is typically somewhere around here, which is your solar plexus, which is where I find the intuition yells at you first. And whatever that intuition said, go with it immediately. And I mean, take immediate, imperfect action. It doesn't matter if it's you writing it down and hanging it on the refrigerator for tomorrow. It could be writing an email to 10 people, say, I want to talk to you about this tomorrow. It could be calling someone who's been there and done that and say, hey, I want to talk to you so we can figure out how to do this. I want to do something. It could be a million different things. But the point is this, put it in motion, imperfect action, moving forward, making it happen. Because once you give that moment, things in momentum, objects in momentum tend to stay in motion. Objects in motion tend to stay in motion. Yeah, there we go. Right. And that's just something from the outside. Hey, Olga. Indeed. So it's all about you. Every issue on the planet, everything that we worry about, all the problems we have, it all comes down to you and your certainty. I mean, if I look at it, it doesn't matter what we talk about, who we're talking to, when we're talking to them. It's always that certainty, right? All my ideas go into notes or I'll email myself. There you go. And then you got to take action, right? You got to take action. Imperfect action immediately. Like I'll be in the gym and it's I guess 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, Lane's time, and I'm sending a voice message, man, when I'm getting downloads. And why am I doing that? Exactly, Ross. Look at that. Always beats perfect. Perfect in action. I love it. So I'll send Lane a voice message at 2 a.m. his time when I'm in the gym, because I want that accountability. That if I say something, I got to say it to somebody so that I know that I'm going to be held accountable for taking action. Right? So speak it out. I mean, look at Ross, Lane, myself, Jesse. We have a chat group where we go and we hold each other accountable. We say things and we answer and we push and we pull and whatever. Sometimes gentle, sometimes funny, sometimes straightforward. And it really helps you keep your mind on track, right? And actually stay out of your head and keep yourself on track. Put it that way. All right? Man, it's all about you. It really is. It's all about you. Who are you? Right? What do you hold dear inside of you? What matters to you most? And why are you compromising what matters to you most for 20K a year, 30K a year, 50, 100, 20, 120K. Why? Why? How much are you worth? How much is your life worth to you? How much is the rest of your life worth to you? Is it worth slaving away for 40K a year? Is it worth slaving away for someone you don't like, doing a job that you don't like, and then feeling trapped because you say, I have to pay the bills, I got kids and this and the other? Well, yeah, if that's what you say, that's what it happens. That's what happens. If you say you can't get out, then you can't get out. Your mind does not know the difference between reality and what you think is reality. And so if you're saying to yourself every day, I'm stuck, I'm stuck, I'm stuck, guess what? You're stuck. 95% of everything we do is dictated by our subconscious. 95%, 95%, 95% is dictated by our subconscious. Go figure that out. Trying to elevate myself to that. All right, brother. Good for you, man. All right. Wanted to leave you with that. I have an appointment in a couple minutes, and I'd like to get ready for that. I hope you have a fantastic one, as always. That's what I wish for everyone out there. Great to see you on here, Ross. Thank you for joining. Everyone else, Margot, catch that whisper of intuition and consider that before the next thought, which is all logic kicking in. There you go, Margot. Speaking my language, girl. Love it. Or I'm speaking yours, whatever it is. All right. Thank you so much, everybody, for coming in. I just saw Olga, Jared, Jose. What's up, brother? Daniel, hey, buddy. How you doing, man? All right. Anna, good to see you. Jania. All right. Arnie, Olga, that's a good one today. Claudius, Danielle, Shirley. All right. Everybody have a fantastic one. Remember, we always say, it's all about quality of life. Take care, everybody. I'll see you tomorrow.